Alright, so I just got done recording my first video of the first situation that happened to me when I was 13 involving a grown man. It went down as statutory rape for both. Also, now with these stories, I feel like I'm kind of past it already, but I did want to upload it just so that one, this can get off my chest and out my heart and out my brain. And also so that any parent or any young girl who, like, if my story, what happened to me, if it reminds you of you or your situation or some little girl that you know, is very likely to be that situation. And that's what I'm really hoping will come from these videos, is that y'all can see, like, how it played out, so it can make y'all a little bit more vigilant, more aware of your surroundings and things of that nature. Okay, so with this situation, we can say that his name is Snake, just to protect his identity or whatnot. How did I meet him? He was one of my stepsister's boyfriends at the time, and around that time, I had went to their house before, but my dad told me to stay away from there because he actually was saying that he kind of got creepy vibes from her boyfriend. But I kind of thought my dad was just being a little bit too controlling. I thought he was, just being too overbearing, So I went back over there to her house. We were celebrating... I think it was somebody's birthday. I don't remember if it was my niece's birthday or my stepsister's birthday, but it was something about a celebration. And she wanted me to go to her house to babysit my niece while her and her boyfriend went out for drinks and to celebrate, and I was all down for that. But yeah, I went over there. I babysat her, of course. We're just chilling, watching TV. Now, let's go backwards a little bit. The first time when I went over there, I actually was doing gymnastics with my niece. I was very heavy into gymnastics at the time. And the way me and him had each other's number was when I was doing my gymnastics, he had his phone and he was recording us flipping, and I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, okay, I'm doing gymnastics. It does look fucking cool. So he was recording it, and he had this little thing on his phone to where he was able to slow the video down. And that was my first time ever seeing video editing, like, up close like that. And I just thought that was, like, the coolest shit ever, And he was like, yeah, I can send it to you. What's your number? So I gave him my number, and he sent it to me, and I didn't think anything of it. So I gave him my number, he sent it to me, and then nothing happened that night. I went home the next day, and my dad, that's when he was like, don't go back over there. And, I was kind of upset about it, but I did listen. I was like, okay, cool, I'm not going to go back over there. But my stepsister, she wanted to go out with her boyfriend, and she was like... kind of like, forget what Papa talking about, like, ain't nothing gonna happen, you over here with me, we're just going out, So, I was just like, okay, my stepsister, she knows what she's talking about. So, I went ahead and went over there, and so they went out or whatever. My niece, which I had two at the time, they went to go to sleep. It was their bedtime. And I was in the living room on the phone with my girlfriend at the time watching, when I wasn't watching TV, I was listening to music on the TV. And so whenever they left, that's what I was doing. I was just chilling, watching TV on the phone with my girlfriend. And they came back shortly, probably like 2 hours later. And my sister... I guess she had a little bit too much to drink. She came in, he went and laid her down, and that's where it ended up being just me and him, the only ones woke. But mind you, I was in the living room minding my business. I was up there by myself on the phone, and that's where he texted me. He was like, what you doing up so late? And I didn't think anything of it because he was already goofy. So I just thought he was like joking around with me. But I was like, nothing, on the phone, chilling. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he was just joking around about some more stuff. I kind of forgot, but it was like a goofy vibe behind it. Like everything he was saying is a goofy vibe. So that's why I didn't feel uncomfortable texting him, because he very naturally had a very goofy personality. But the part that kind of like made me frown up a little bit, because I was kind of confused, is when he was like, turn the TV off. And in my mind, I kind of like, my first thought was like, okay, I think the light might be too bright or it might be too loud. And then I got to thinking, like, why didn't he just tell me to turn it down instead of turning it off? Like, I didn't fully understand, like, why he told me to turn it off. But my heart had kind of dropped, because I'm like, okay, if I turn the TV off, I'm going to be in the dark. And everybody who knows me good, they know I don't like being in the dark. Okay? So I kind of got a little creeped out. So I was like, let me get off the phone with my girlfriend, because I didn't fully understand what was going on. I didn't know if I was in trouble or what, but I kind of just had like a really bad feeling in my stomach. So I got off the phone with her, and then that's where he came up there where I was in the living room, and he came to the couch where I was, and he kind of like stood over me, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was just at that point like frozen and confused. So he stood there, and I stood up, and I was like, okay. And just like with the first older man, which they both were in their 30s, and I was 13. But just like the first dude, he came in for a kiss, and I froze up again. And how I told you, I remember the smell of the first guy. He smelled like cigarettes. This dude here, I just remember smelling toothpaste on him, like he had just got done brushing his teeth. Like that's the smell that I remember. And like even whenever he came in for a kiss, I remember tasting his toothpaste. And but the only thing that was different about with this guy is he went straight into the next step. Like with the first guy, which I call him T-Rex, it was like a gradual process leading up to the actual sexual assault. But with this second guy, he went straight into it. Like when he came in for the kiss, that's whenever he like kind of like gently pushed me on the couch, and that's when he pulled his pants down, pulled mine down, and that's when he stuck his thing inside of me and proceeded to have sex with me. And I just remembered the feelings of being like paranoid and scared the whole time, because not only is he on top of me and this is actually happening right now, but I got to thinking also too, like my stepsister can come up here any minute. She's gonna probably hurt both of us, and it's not gonna look good. It's gonna look like I caused this or I wanted this. So like I had all these different case scenarios playing in my mind while he was on top of me, and I just remember being absolutely terrified. Like I couldn't even like focus on what was actually going on. And I think I was so deep in my head and so scared that it's like my body kind of shut down. So where like I couldn't fully feel what was going on. But I did know I was a little bit in pain. But it's like all of that adrenaline with my heart beating fast and stuff, it kind of shut down the feelings down there. And I was just really looking out to make sure like nothing bad happened, and I just was extremely uncomfortable the whole entire time. But I just wanted him to hurry up and get done. And I think I kind of like remember silently counting to myself like when it would hurry up and be over with. But eventually he was done or whatever, and he got up, and I think that's when he gave me another kiss when he got up. And although it was dark, I did see him put the condom in his shoe. Like, that was my first time ever seeing something like that. But, yeah, and after that, he just went back in his room, and I turned the TV back on, and I got back on the phone with my girlfriend at the time. And, like, after all of that, me and her actually talked, and she said she had a bad feeling whenever I told her that I would call her back, it's like she said she felt like something bad was about to happen. And I felt like something bad was going to happen too. But it's like neither one of us knew exactly what it was. And afterwards, I didn't go to sleep at all. I stayed up the whole time. It's like I was praying for morning time to hurry up and get there. Like, I was extremely uptight, extremely uncomfortable, extremely paranoid, and just at that point, I was just ready to go home. Like, I did not sleep at all. I stayed woke that entire night. And whenever morning time finally came, which that was like a sigh of relief for me, my dad, he came and he picked me up. And he was like, I told you not to come back over here. And he was like, something happened, didn't it? And then he looked at me and I was like, no, nothing happened. And yeah, I had regret lying to him about that. It's just I didn't want him to be upset. I didn't want that guy to get in trouble. I didn't want to cause a scene. I didn't want my stepsister mad at me. Because my thing was the whole entire time, like with both situations, I didn't want anybody to look at me like it was my fault, like it was something that I caused or something I wanted, you know. So that was part of really the reason why I didn't say anything both times. But I do remember, once again, with both situations, I didn't say anything. The men, they ended up snitching on themselves. But I just remember being at my dad's house. After that, all of us was there. And I went to the bathroom. Around that time, I was showering a whole lot. And my dad, he even noticed it. And I was really just trying to wash all of the filth off of me. Like, not even like a physical filth, but it's more like a mental filth. I just felt very nasty after both situations. And I just wanted that feeling to go away. But I went to his bathroom or whatever, and my stepsister, she had like followed me in there. She came up with the excuse to go get some bleach. And she sat me down while I was in there, and she was like, tell me what happened. And I was like, huh? She was like, tell me what happened with Snake. And my heart started to beat really fast, but I knew at that point, if she came to me, she already knew something. So I went ahead and told her that that happened, and that he stuck his thing in me, and it actually happened, like full on, it happened. And I think I remember, I guess the lie that he told her was that I gave him oral sex, which I did not at all. So I guess he said that to, I guess, hurry up and try to put all the blame and guilt on me before I could even tell my side of the story, to where she could be upset with me instead of knowing the real truth about the situation. I don't know, but that's what he told her, that I came on to him and that I gave him oral sex, and just trying to, I guess, paint a bad picture of me so he can make himself look good. But she found out the truth. At that point, I had nothing to lie about, you know. So I told her what happened, and I don't know exactly what happened between them after that, but I do know he went back home to his hometown. And believe it or not, I don't even really think that he went to jail for that, because he had so many other charges, like murder related. So I genuinely don't think he went to jail for that. He had a much bigger charge that he was facing, to where that statutory rape really was a slap on the wrist compared to what he really was going down for, you know. But I just remember carrying that guilt around with me. Although he came to me, he started it, he initiated, he was an adult, I, even to this day, still carry a little bit of shame and guilt, because I feel like I could have pushed him, I could have stopped it, I could have said no. And then two, I have another part of me that's just like, oh, that was my stepsister, I shouldn't have did her like that. But I did not start it. It's not something I wanted. Like, so I think that's really something with every sexual assault survivor. You blame yourself. Although you didn't start it, you were literally the victim of the situation, you carry some level of guilt and responsibility. You just take it on yourself, like, I had something to do with this. No, I didn't start it, but I could have stopped it, and so I do carry that guilt around with me. And I don't know what it will take for me to forgive myself, but yeah. And like, I always had like the fear of just people being mad at me. And even now I still kind of like pray that she isn't mad at me, and even my ex-girlfriend, because these things, they weren't brought on by me, but I do feel like, although I was 13, I feel like, I don't know, I just blame myself, and because I know that my stepsister and my ex-girlfriend, I know they trusted me, and I feel like I betrayed them, but that's what happened. And yeah, so it's like the main thing with all of this, like, I'm over what happened, I'm over the situation, but the main thing for me that I battle with the most is the guilt and the shame that comes after these things happen, Like, I'm having to learn how to forgive myself for something I didn't even do. I'm having to forgive myself for a situation that I had really no control over. I'm having to forgive myself for going along although I was scared. Like, I'm having to forgive myself for something that I didn't even want to do. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but that's the main thing that I battle with, just the shame and the guilt. And I think that's the only thing that keeps me tied to these situations. I think that's the only reason why I haven't fully 100% moved on and healed from that. It's just the forgiving myself part and releasing the guilt and the shame, But that's all of what happened. That's the full story from my perspective. And I hope that these situations kind of shed light on how easy it is for something like this to happen, how easy it is for stuff like this to go under people's noses without them knowing, how stuff like this can literally happen in the same household. Yeah, I just hope that this sheds light on those situations and how they come about.